Rumors about the sequel to Rainbow Six Siege are floating all around right now, and I just found some absolutely insane evidence that would suggest that Rainbow Six Siege 2 is a lot closer than you may think. Now obviously you want to take this all with a grain of salt because it is technically an unreliable source who is claiming to be reliable, so if their credibility is actually holding up, then this could be actually insane. So let's take a look here. I'll throw it up on the screen. The original post that I found is this one that I'm showing. So I don't think this is the actual original. He's quoting the original. So if you guys have the original, let me know. But we're going to be looking at this Discord message here coming in from Dilial or Damo, whatever. So he says, this post is from a guy who claims to be a developer for a Siege 2.0 in parentheses, similar to CSGO 2, which is interesting. We won't really get into the CSGO part, but I'm thinking about maybe making a video about that, because that is a very interesting comparison, but we'll go ahead and continue on. So here is the post. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege 2 is nearing completion after over 4 years of development. The project began when dev members were gradually pulled off the main team to start working on the sequel. Built on the Snowdrop engine, the new in-house engine that was used to build X-Defiant. The original Siege's source code has significant issues, so this time we built it from the ground up with an in-house anti-cheat system. Initially, we planned to announce it at the 6 Invitational 2024 in Brazil, but due to some development hiccups, we're now on track to announce it at the 6 Invitational 2025 in Boston, Massachusetts. This event will be the final Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege esports event, transitioning directly into the full launch of Siege 2. For obvious reasons, I can't disclose all the information I know. Only a handful of Ubisoft Montreal employees have access to the details I've shared. I'm trying to have this information leaked because I'm witnessing the game I worked so hard on struggle, and the community is losing faith. Currently, 90% plus of our team is focused on Siege 2, with almost everyone having moved on from the original Siege. So now that we have read it, I'm going to break this down a little bit because there is a lot to unpack here, and it could honestly be a very long video if I want it to be, but I'm going to try to keep it as condensed as I can so you guys get all the information in a short amount of time. So first off, they said that they're nearing completion after over 4 years of development, so that would mean they've been working on this since 2020. And this would honestly make sense. I mean, around that time was when we started to see some of the problems with Siege come around, where Ubisoft kind of seemed like they stopped prioritizing the game a little bit. Obviously, it's been a lot worse over the last 2 years, so I'd assume that that's when they decided to make the full switch over. They probably spent the first 2 years just kind of doing base stuff, and then, the last 2 years they probably made a full switch over. And that would explain a lot. I've made a lot of videos basically claiming that Ubisoft doesn't care about Rainbow Six Siege anymore. They're just using it as a money grab. And this would make sense if they are fully transitioning to making an entire sequel to this legendary decade-long game. Then it would make sense that they aren't doing anything else in this game anymore. So they also said that they're building this on the Snowdrop engine, which is the same engine that was built on X-Defiant. Now, I have not gotten my hands on X-Defiant, but I have heard really good things about it. So this is actually really exciting. I think the game needs a refresh in terms of its engine. I don't think there's many people who would really, fight me against that. I think that that's really a true statement, to be honest. And then he obviously claims that the original Siege's source code has significant issues, so this makes sense. We had a lot of issues, so many bugs, glitches, and then obviously the overarching problem of cheating, probably the #1 biggest reason for why so many people have this problem with Siege's, internal code. And the problem with this, or the reason why they weren't able to change it, and the reason why a lot of people are mad at them is because they aren't changing it, but they physically can't because it's so deeply built into their code that they can't just go in and scrap it all. The anti-cheat is there to stay for Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege, so it would make sense that they're starting up from the ground up. Whole new engine for this sequel game makes total sense, and that's honestly really exciting to hear. So he says that they initially planned to announce it this past year in Brazil at the 6 Invitational, and then due to some development issues, they're going to have to postpone it to next year's 6 Invitational. And again, this makes sense. It's Ubisoft. They normally have some developmental issues, so again, I'm kind of joking, but kind of not. It sort of makes sense. It's all starting to add up. And this part is actually crazy to me. This will be the final Rainbow Six Siege esports event. So, they're going to be fully transitioning over after 2025 into Rainbow Six Siege 2. And that's very interesting. I think one part of this game right now that has been strong, and really has been strong for as long as this game's been around, is the esports sort of scene, I guess you could call it. So it's very interesting that they're going to be done with it. That part seems a little bit unreliable to me. I feel like they wouldn't be able to fully just be done with esports of Rainbow Six Siege. But that does mean that they really are planning on this game being an entire takeover from day one. picking up right where the original Siege left off, so should be a really complete game, especially if they've been developing it for over 4 years. And then a little bit interesting, he says that he is trying to have this information leaked because he's watching the game he worked so hard on struggle. This is where you start to lose me a little bit. No one wants their game information leaked, and I wouldn't be putting it in a Discord or Reddit or Twitter post wherever this was originally, uploaded, if I wanted it to be leaked either. It just doesn't make much sense to me. I'm not sure what route he was really trying to take there. I hope what I'm trying to articulate makes sense. It's just they're not really trying. No one's trying to leak the game. That's not something a real game developer wants to do, especially if the reveal is only a year away and he's talking about he doesn't want to lose the community. I think the community would be fine, give or take a year. So this part is kind of interesting, but he does say over 90% of their team is working on this sequel now. So like I said, it makes total sense, having this game be almost forgotten for so many years now. Like, it almost seems like we're not even getting any new content anymore, as you guys know, with Operation New Blood. So it would all spell out. It would all make sense if this was really the reason. Now, is it? I don't know, but apparently this guy does have some reliability to him. Normally with just like small skins, tiny little pieces of content from past seasons and operations, this guy has leaked before and they have all ended up actually being true. Not sure exactly which parts of those little pieces of the seasons that were true, but from everything I'm reading, it sounds like he does have little pieces that have worked out in the past in terms of his leaking, so who knows. Now, going back to the Snowdrop X Defiant, engine thing, it does have some problems with it. There like some networking issues, things like that. There are a lot of things that are better with it too, though. But like I said, it's not really going to be perfect. There are a lot of issues. But remember, X Defiant is still, a very early on game. So I know there's a lot of people that may flip out about that whole part. So don't, lose it too quickly. It might be better than you actually think. Also, there have been directors of Siege and game developers of Siege that have said that there are no plans for Siege 2, and they've said that they won't switch engines, things like that. And there are little things that you can say to divert attention from some big plan in the future. They could just say, oh, we don't want to talk about Siege 2, or we're not really gonna answer any questions about that. But considering they've outright said that there's no plans for Siege 2, it would technically be lying to shareholders. And there's tiny little gray areas and little legal things that I could go into, but we're not gonna really go into that right now. So it just kind of seems like another part that would make me lean in the direction of this being a false leak. And I'm not trying to, clickbait you guys or anything. I want to keep you guys updated. I thought this was super interesting. On the off chance that this is really true, this could be huge for Rainbow Six Siege. Not saying huge in a good way or a bad way, because I know a lot of people have their own opinions on what a sequel to Rainbow Six Siege could do to the game, but let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Do you think this is real? Do you think this is fake? Do you think Rainbow Six Siege 2 is a good idea? Do you think it's a bad idea? There's a lot of different ways we can go here. If you want to talk more about this on a more personal level, go ahead and join the Discord link in the description. I'd love to talk to you guys about it. Maybe I'll make a whole separate, forum or channel for it. But yeah, besides for that, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll let you guys know if I find out anything more about this whole situation. And yeah, I'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace.